In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the gatekeeper or the host of this particular program, known here on social media, the internet, or some of y'all still call the World Wide Web. I am known wherever you may find me as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your brother and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would like to take these few moments just to casually speak with us on a subject many of us have probably spoken of and had general conversations. So I would like to add my little opinion on the subject. And that is our spoiling our children. Spoiling our children. No matter how rich, no matter how poor, parents, because of love, we spoil our babies. Now, I personally do not have biological children, but just recently, children have come into my life. And prior to children coming into my life, being a single person with no children, when I watch parents, regardless of their economic stature, I wonder why they spoil their children the way they do. Why you can't put your foot down and be firm. Being a single person, you're not connected to another human being like that. You really don't understand that such a thing as putting your foot down, trying not to spoil your child, that's more easier said than done. So I began to think about it, and I began to understand that when love, when care is involved, this is part of a parent. And a parent wants the best for their child and wants to do what is best for the child. And you have that parental emotion inside of us that when a child cries, when a child hurts, as a parent, it is in your nature to step up to the plate to protect that child from harm. So when the child cries, you want to cease and put and desist that which is causing the child to cry or bring that child some type of harm. What I have learned and continue to learn, and brothers and sisters, friends and family, and those listening, even enemies listening to this broadcast, I am never, listen y'all, we should never be so arrogant to believe that we know it all. We should not be so arrogant to believe that we can't learn something every day, that we are know-it-alls. So although I have lived on this planet, I have been told, for over a half century, I am still learning, and we still learning to the day that breath leaves this physical body. So, in this, what I am saying to us, that we must stop judging people. We must stop judging children. We must stop this judgment that we have of other people. And the reason why we must stop judging people, regardless to who they are, because most times, in fact, chances are 95% of the time, we judge with prejudice. And we judge with prejudice because we have never walked in the shoes of the person that we're judging. We don't know. We don't know their experience. Because I am a single person, I am judging those who are parents when I have not walked in their shoes, so I don't know the full dynamic of what they're facing or what they're dealing with. It should be easy. And it is easy for a single person since I am not connected to another human being like that. We should stop judging others with prejudice. Many of us call ourselves black conscious. Many of us are pro-black, black nationalists, whatever we may call ourselves. This even goes to us, and it makes us grow as human beings, even when it comes to Caucasian people. We must understand that racism, the activity of Caucasian or pink supremacy, those involved in that, most of them were born, it is the only life that they know. Caucasian people as a people have been brainwashed through the generations by their leadership who chose this type of system or mythology in order to put themselves on top of the world. In order to grow or get to the top of the world, they decided we're going to crush those who are already in the world, the dark people of this planet. And we are going to get to do our labor and produce out of the dark people a super slave. And the super slave are the descendants of slaves born in America. And they called us Negro and gave us a brand new name. In fact, they call us black because black did not exist until a racist mythology came into existence, and they decided to make those with dark skin, put them into a category so they could be more easily exploited. And we became black and Negro and colored, a brand new race or species of people that they bred up out of the dark people of this planet. So we are related to these people, but we are really not of these people. We are the products of genetic infiltration or genetic, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, they caused a brand new being to come from out of the dark people of this planet that they decided to exploit and destroy. So, being a Caucasian person, and they are also ignorant of the history, they are ignorant of what has actually happened and don't know. It is unfair and it is prejudice to continue to judge people when we have not walked in their shoes. Now, our job is to teach them just like we are teaching our own people. It is only fair, it is just because many of them are ignorant. But many of them, that's not our priority, but they must also understand. And it is very difficult for some of these Caucasian people to understand, because racism or Caucasian supremacy have put them in a position of advantage. Who would not want to be called superior? Who would not want to be or have an advantage over other people of this planet? So that is the reason why many of them will not listen to you or me when we try to explain to them what racism, what Caucasian supremacy really is, and what has happened to both people in this situation. And of course, you have descendants of slaves born in America. Slavery is the only life that they know. And they don't understand what has happened to us. But it is very easy to spoil a child. And when you have no children, it is easy to judge those with children. I will say this again. When you have no children, it is easy to judge those with children, because you have not dealt with and have no idea of this interaction between parent and child. It is not easy as it may look. So, I took my child to a car lot. We have a certain budget in mind. And I tell this child that we have a certain amount of money that is allowed for this vehicle. And I do want this child, because they are going to college. And I am not around a lot, so I want them to have a dependable used vehicle, but within a certain budget. So we walk around the car lot and we find a decent car. In fact, we find some decent cars, but the poor child, don't like any of the cars that's within budget. Then finally, we find a vehicle that is actually many thousands out of budget. And I said that we can't do that. That's out of budget. So, as many of you parents know, children, they pout, and I said we're going to have to go with this because this is within budget. If we buy the other vehicle that's out of budget, it's going to put financial strain on the family. And the child says, okay, I understand. But they all sad and droopy, and this is my first experience. And this affects the parent. You may think it don't affect you, but it does. And so I give in. We're going to have to, and I explained to the child, we're going to have to suffer some financial hardship if I get this vehicle. Oh, I'll do it, Dad. We can do it. I can sacrifice. So I got the vehicle. And so when it's all said and done, and I know many of you already have experienced this, the debt is worth to see the child happy. However, in conclusion, I must also say to us, and I do understand this, that sometimes we must put our foot down. Because if we don't put our foot down, we put ourselves in a position that is not only detrimental to the child, but detrimental to ourselves and detrimental to the family. So we must think, when we give in to the whims of our children, we must think about this very carefully. So far, it has worked out. But again, we must stop judging other people because we have never walked in their shoes. When you walked in their shoes, perhaps you would have more empathy and understanding of why they are doing or not doing what you believe they should be doing. With that said, my time is out. Thank you for listening. This is your brother, the Angel Snubbing Up 7. This was and is, leave your comments, the Reality's Temple on Earth.